Chapter 6. Just as Tracker was entering into a warm and accommodating Sadia, Lycell was entering into Adrienne and Wilder's bedroom. Her back to the door lying awkwardly on her right side holding her stomach. Her last thought was locking the door. You can't lock a werewolf out, and besides they had always respected the other's privacy, until now. Lycell eased up to the bed and slipped behind Adrienne like a wolf trapping a sheep. He leaned in and kissed her neck. She had been asleep and turning from side to side to ease the pain she felt and to keep from sleeping on her stomach or back. She had forgotten how painful and uncomfortable it had been to be pregnant. Some women don't notice they're pregnant until they give birth. She wished it was her. Mina, Robert's wife and her female friend, swore she didn't have any of the symptoms Adrienne reported. The dizziness, the nausea, the swollen ankles and the cravings for exotic food. Sending Wilder on the hunt for cherries and exotic ice cream in the middle of the night after she had devoured gallons in one sitting was taking its toll on Wilder. He appeared exhausted, but he never complained when she asked for chai tea ice cream or Oreo coffee. Then getting indigestion and unable to sleep. Wilder was more than happy to wake the local grocer and demand that he keep enough ice cream in various flavors, because in a whim Adrienne might change her mind and ask for something he didn't have in their large freezer. Adrienne suffered trying to have her babies. But it was worth it. Look at all her strong, smart and handsome sons, she thought. Now she wanted females and she got her wish. 4 were females. Because the pregnancy and birth wasn't as long for werewolves as it is for a human child, she was able to give birth and get pregnant for all the brothers. But now she did it as much for herself as for Wilder. I have only sons, she said to Lycell. A family can't have balance without females in it. Reaching around and placing his hand on her swollen stomach, she placed her hand over his. It was warm. It was tender, but it wasn't Wilder's hand. Wilder's hand more rough and blistered from cutting down trees and riding his horse without gloves. She turned around to look into Lycell's face. Tall. Handsome. Seductive. One like Wilder's, but it wasn't Wilder's face, but he was in Wilder's room and in Wilder's territory. Wilder had never breached Lycell's boundaries as Lycell is doing now. What are you doing in here, Lycell? Can't I come and sit with my mate and kiss you? He asked with a deceptive grin, knowing full well he was wrong. Wilder will smell your scent and know you've been around me. You shouldn't cross that line, she whispered. I can't see why I can't give you a kiss and rub your stomach, Lycell commented, knowing the obvious answer. These are not my rules. These were your rules, remember? And all of a sudden you're changing them because you're upset over my pregnancy. She spoke with cool resolve. Lycell sat straight up. I thought you were through having pups. Now you're making a difference between me and my brothers. You're showing favoritism. Something I thought you never would do. She touched Lycell's back as he turned facing the door. I would never show favor to one over the other. I love you all the same. Lycell sat gloomy. He refused to talk. She touched his back and trailed her fingers up his neck, raking through his thick dark silky hair. He caught her hand and turned slightly to bring it to his mouth as he kissed it lovingly and gently. Lycell, listen. I didn't want this. I warned you about this when you agreed that I would belong to all of you. Drayton is satisfied with only one son. She begged for understanding. You have 6 and you're not satisfied. So you did this because Wilder isn't satisfied. You're showing favor to him. Her hand slipped from his. Lycell had been jealous and demanding from the beginning, and why would Adrienne think he would change? That's not true. I wanted a girl. A female. Why didn't you tell me? I mentioned to you that we needed females in this family. You could have come to me alone and spoke to me. Not at a family meeting. Why should I have gone to you privately? So you can push Wilder out completely. Don't say anything. You can't change your nature. I saw how you sent Wilder off to do jobs you should have gone to do. We have 6 sons and I love you. What more do you want? It was because of Wilder's agreement to share me with you and Drayton that we have this wonderful family. And soon all of my sons will be with us. All except Tracker and Damon. They are at odds with each other. It's over, Sadia. Why didn't you tell me? Adrienne said, her voice breaking. Because I knew it would make you sick. I do know how important it is for you to have these pups, Lycell said, his voice echoing his need. Lycell took a large breath and stood. Then the doorknob turned and the door opened, and they both watched at the door. Lycell couldn't hide the guilt on his face, and Adrienne couldn't hide the love for him on her face. Drayton stood at the door holding his son in his arms. Say hello to your uncle and mother. He walked him to the bed, and Drayton picked him up and leaned over and helped him kiss her on the lips. He put him down, and he scooted out the door headed to the playroom. You shouldn't be in here, Lycell. They stood facing each other, eye to eye, werewolf to werewolf. And Adrienne watched at both. Why are you here, Drayton? Lycell said, his tone disapproving and chilly. I heard your voice, and I know if I heard you talking to Adrienne, then Wilder could have heard it too. He's not here? Adrienne questioned. Who's not here? Both Drayton and Lycell pivoted around to look at Wilder, entering the room. Why are both of you in my room? Don't you two have a town to run, or do I have to add that to my list? Wilder's tone edged with steel. They're here because they heard me moan, Adrienne said. She didn't like lying to Wilder, but she thought it was necessary considering what could happen if he found out the truth. Nothing could be worse than seeing the brothers fight. Someone would die, and the Samsa Pack would be forever broken and irretrievable. And where would that leave her children? So she lied for her family. We were just leaving, Drayton said, taking Lycell's elbow. Lycell turned to leave after giving Adrienne one last needy look. Come close to me and hold me, Adrienne said to Wilder as Lycell faced the door. Lycell stood and listened until Drayton called out to him, and reluctantly he trotted out of the bedroom, closing the door and bounding down the stairs out of the house and into the stables. He jumped on his black steed and rode him around the ranch, and then headed across the meadow and into the woods. The snow fell lightly on his head, but he didn't feel it or see it. He was blind as he rode his stallion, jumping over fence after fence. As Lycell rode his horse hard, and Drayton played with his son, and Wilder curled up behind Adrienne, and Tracker fucking Sadia for the 4th time, Damon was showing the war female around his cave.